Mm.
Hello viewers, welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are continuing with our study on Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House. Today we will consider Act 2, Episode 4. In this episode we see Dr. Rank confessing his love for Nora. At the onset of this episode, we see an intimately electrifying atmosphere. And in this atmosphere, we see uh, Dr. Rank and Nora come out as childish. At the beginning, we are able to see that Dr. Rank himself confesses that this atmosphere is intimate. If we look at page 67, Dr. Rank states, "When I'm sitting here talking to you as intimately as this, I cannot imagine for a moment what would have become of me if I had never come into this house." So Dr. Rank reiterates the fact that the atmosphere in this episode is intimate. Going forward, we are able to see uh, Dr. Rank giving Nora a searching look. Then Nora asks Rank why he smiled, and then Rank says that it is Nora who has laughed. Nora also asks Dr. Rank to look at her silk stockings. And in looking at her silk stockings, Dr. Rank asks if he can see more. Nora allows Dr. Rank later on to look at her legs too. Later on, we see we see Nora hit Dr. Rank slightly with the stockings. So all these evidences point to an intimate session between Nora and Dr. Rank. It is quite elevated from friendship, from the relationship that friends would have, but it seems quite intimate. Another thing to consider in this episode is that Dr. Rank tells Nora that he has lost the will to live. And in losing the will to live, Dr. Rank says that he is the most wretched of all his patients. It is all up for him. His internal economy is bankrupt, and he goes ahead and tells Nora that he expects to use as much as Nora's time as possible. So this one brings an idea of urgency, and Nora becomes anxious. Nora then wonders, why is Torvald speaking with that note of urgency? She only gets a sigh of relief when she finally realizes that it is not all about herself, but it is about Dr. Rank. And here is where we see Dr. Rank confess and confide in Nora that he is going to commit suicide later on. And he tells Nora that when he finally sends to Nora a card with a black cross on it, that will show that his ultimate end has at that point begun. We are able to unearth Dr. Rang's hypocrisy come about. He comes out as a hypocrite because he is a close friend of Torvald Helmer's. But at this point of contemplating his death, he only notifies Nora about his death. And he makes a statement by saying in page 64 that Helmer's refined nature gives him an unconquerable disgust at everything that is ugly that he won't allow him in his sick room. So by not telling Torvald about his impending death and choosing Nora as the recipient of this news brings out Dr. Rank as a hypocrite. After talking about his impending death, then Dr. Rank gets to confess his love for Nora. When Nora tells Dr. Rank that Torvald is devotedly and inexpressibly in love with her and would not hesitate to come to her rescue, or would not for a moment hesitate to give his life for her sake, then Dr. Rank takes advantage of this. In taking advantage of this, he asks Nora if Torvald is the only one who would make such a big sacrifice for her. Again, Dr. Rank again also tells Nora that she should now trust no one else as she does to him, and that is on page 68. Page 69 again, Dr. Rank tells Nora that at this point she now commands him body and soul. Then lastly, in page 70, Dr. Rank tells Nora that he believed that soon Nora will be in his company as she is in Torvald's. All these are expressions that point to Dr. Rank's confession of his feelings and love for Nora. Upon confessing his love for Nora, then Nora calls in Helen, the maid, to come in with the lamb. And then she tells Dr. Rank that it was so horrid and clumsy of him to go ahead and confess his love for her. It is also hypocritical on the part of Dr. Rank to admire and finally confess his love for Nora, who is the wife to his closest friend, his very intimate friend, Torvald Helmer. So the theme of hypocrisy is also exposed in this episode through the use of the character of Dr. Rank. After that confession of his love for Nora, we are able to see the maid come in with a card, and this card is supposedly from Dr. Rank, is supposedly from Krogstad. So when Dr. Rank asks Nora what the card is about, then Nora comes out as dishonest and says that it is about a dress. Dr. Rank then sees the dress lying down there, and upon seeing the dress, then we are able to see Nora really struggling to explain what the card was about. What we know as the readers or the audience of this text is that the card is announcing the entry of Krogstad. Krogstad has just visited the Helmers, but Nora lies to Dr. Rank that it is about a dress. This one brings out the thematic concern of deceit, and Nora comes out as deceitful and a liar. And the aspect of style that is underpinned here is the dramatic irony, because as the readers, we are aware of the entry of Krogstad, but Dr. Rank does not know of it. Lastly, we see Nora become secretive. In becoming secretive, Nora tells the maid that she must not tell anyone about the visitor who was just visited, that is about Krogstad. She comes out as secretive. She goes ahead to tell Helen that she is not allowed to even tell her husband. We cannot also stop looking at this episode minus considering an aspect of style which has also been used here, that is personification. Personification is an aspect of style whereby non-living things, objects, or even situations are given human attributes. In trying to expose to Nora and ultimately to us the news about his death, we see Dr. Rank and Nora in that process use personification. We see Dr. Rank saying that death is stalking beside him. He goes ahead and says that nice things like heaps of pot and champagne should take revenge on their bones. So then, champagne, heaps of pot are given the human attribute of revenge. And at this point, we realize that Dr. Rank suffers from a spine disease. And this spine disease is occasioned as a result of transmission from his father, what Dr. Rank calls his father's youthful amusements, in that his father ignored temperance to things like asparagus, pate de foie gras, truffles, oysters, heaps of pot, and champagne. Then lastly, we also see Nora tell Dr. Rank that death must not take him, that is Dr. Rank, away from them. So the use of personification, the significance of personification here is used by Dr. Rank to announce his impending death to Nora. And that is how we get to know of Dr. Rank's desire to commit suicide. Viewers, that brings us to the end of episode 4 of Act 2. The next time we meet, we'll be looking at episode 5 of this same Act 2. If you've not subscribed to this channel, remember to like and subscribe.